All right, what up, y'all? So, I thought about this for a few hours, and I wanted to make sure when I make this video, my point is clear, because I know there's going to be differentiating opinions when it comes to this. Speaking about what happened on Dynamite with Mox, they did the spot with Edge's new weapon, which is a 2x4 with nails in it. Very similar to what Abyss used back in, what was it, TNA 2010? TNA 2010, Abyss had the weapon named Janice in the RVD feud. And Edge has the, what you call it, Spike from Mox. It's basically the same thing. Now, mind you, when you go and look at this, I was 10 when this happened. I was like 10, 11. The appeal of Janice, Abyss's weapon, which is, again, the same thing, was that 9 times out of 10, it wasn't physically used. It was just the idea of, oh my gosh, if you hit somebody with this, they're done. You feel me? They did a spot where Abyss attacked RVD with it, but it was off camera. There was a brawl in the ring, then they cut backstage, and RVD was laid out, blood on him, everything, and Abyss was sitting there, ah! And it was implied that Abyss attacked RVD with it, but we never saw it. So that still kept the image of what Janice could do to somebody, because we're looking at RVD right there, and he's presumably, it's over for him. He's beep, like it's over for bro. And I don't think it was physically used until like the blow-off match for Abyss and RVD, I think. I haven't seen the match in years, but I'm pretty sure either Abyss used it on RVD or the other way around. Like an abdomen shot, maybe a shot to the back. Nothing like what Mox did. Not a full back body suplex onto rusty nails. If you saw the spot, it's on YouTube. AEW uploaded. It's gruesome. I watched it and I was like, oh, that's bad. And then it got worse because they couldn't get it out with Mox. It was stuck in his back, and it took a minute. They had like paused the match for a little bit, and Wheeler Yuta came out, tried to get out his back. That didn't work. Ref had to like pull it out. It was bad. And it could have been worse. I was scared for Mox's health at that point. Now, seeing that happen, there's been a big outrage about it. Some people want to get AEW taken off television for it. That's not going to happen. So I don't know why they'd even, I understand where they're coming from, but that's not going to happen. Not for this, at least. My thing is this. The way I felt about AEW doing stuff like this is the same problem I've had with AEW for a long time now. They do things just to do them. Wrestling is a violent sport, I've been watching wrestling ever since I was 7. So I've seen violence from now to me being 24. It's a violent sport. It's combat. They're hitting each other. At the end game of it, they're really just hitting each other. They're trying to make the image that they're hurting each other. The point is, with AEW, I feel they do things as far as violence goes to pop the crowd. Because the story between Mox and Adam Copeland doesn't, to me, one, I don't know what the story is. Two, if there is a story, it's terribly, terribly told. I don't know. I still don't know what the hell they're even feuding over besides the world championship that we haven't seen in months physically. I don't know what they're feuding over. So me not knowing what they're feuding over, I don't know why we've gotten to the point where we need a spot like that to happen. Why did I need to see Mox being dropped on spikes in a 2x4? What did that advance for me? Nothing. For me, at least, it didn't tell me anything I needed to know about the careers of Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley and this feud for world championship. It gave me nothing. So why do you do it? I think I know why Tony Khan did it. Because again, this is a rematch. They had a match at Revolution. It was terrible. It was just two guys out there trying to get through the night, and it was bad. It was the main event of the show when Ospreay and Kyle could have been the main event of the show. Freaking any match damn near on the card, especially Tony Storm and Mariah May. That was violence with a cause. That should have been the main event, but they gave it to the World Championship, which I understand it's the World Championship, but damn. Okay. Then they say, all right, that match was bad. They see the pushback. Let's do it. I think it was like 2 weeks after. I don't think it was the next week. It might have been. I'm not sure. They did it again recently, and it was better than the Revolution match. Absolutely, yes. But I mean, when you start at the floor, you can only go but up. You know what I'm saying? If the Revolution match was rock bottom, you can't go. That's it. We're at the floor. You know, we're not going to go underground. We're back up. So it has to be an improvement. You feel me? And then they do that spot, and it's like, bro, what was the point of doing all of that? Mox could have been seriously hurt. He was impaled on a random Wednesday. A random Wednesday in a world championship rematch. We all knew Mox wasn't losing the belt. So why are you impaling a grown man on TNT or TBS for the world championship? For a feud that doesn't even dictate that. Why? Why? The violence with AEW isn't the problem. They've already told us time and time again that they want to be an alternative. They want to make sure that they're not sports entertainment. They don't want to be WWE. Okay, cool. That's great. We don't want you to be WWE either. You feel me? That's why both of you are needed. But this isn't something that this was just pointless violence. This was violence to get people to think that this match was better than the Revolution match, which it already was. Damn near when the bell rung. You feel me? We didn't need that spot. AEW does the violence just to do the violence. And it's like they know how to do violence with story. They've done it before. Swerve and Hangman. Punk and MJF. Shit, Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Tony and Mariah, they're actively doing it. And that's what frustrates me so much about AEW. They have problems with things. It's so frustrating to me because they have problems with the things that they have shown they can do. They're doing it. But it's like they take one step forward and 18 steps back because you're impaling a man on live television on a random Wednesday, no pay-per-view, just for a world championship, just for the sake of saying, okay, we need something to get everyone to start talking about AEW again. This is not the press you want. I don't think so. I'm not a fan of the thing like what's the term? All press is good press. I don't think that's true. That is actually severely not true. You know what I'm saying? You get some bad press. That is not good. That is not good for you at all. But this is why I don't think AEW's survival, I don't think they're going to last long as a company. You know? And I know the AEW defenders will say, oh, okay, well, just don't watch it. What? Then if you go out there and say that you only watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, then you're a shill. You're a WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want? I'll tell you what I want. I want storytelling in my wrestling. Of course, violence. It's a violent sport. Those two things, if your stories coincide with the violence, everything is fine. You know what I'm saying? Everything is fine, or at least it can be understood. I wasn't a fan of the whole syringe and stuff like that with Swerve and Hangman, but their feud called for it. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm not a fan of this, but guess what? I understand it. That's it. That's it. And the way people are trying to like morph what AEW's whole mission statement was, again, I've made this video before. AEW's mission statement when they came out was, we hate WWE and we are going to be an alternative. And AEW came at the perfect time because at that time, Vince McMahon was destroying the company. That's why now he's gone forever. Hopefully. I never want to see him again. You know what I'm saying? While I have my own issues with Triple H and creative, the company is better off without him. And that's not an argument. You know what I'm saying? So AEW in this scenario where like they come in there, they're only moving off of spite for WWE. Once that company gets better, now you got to make your company better. And if you're not making your company better, you're just floating. You're just floating. And eventually, if you float for long enough, you're going to start drowning. And AEW has already been through I feel like AEW has already hit its peak. Unfortunately, AEW hit its peak when it first came out because it was the perfect time. But now it's not the perfect time anymore because now that competition is better than you. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? The reason why people clown AEW is not just to clown AEW. It's because they do clownable things. Like impaling a man on a random Wednesday for a feud that is a go nowhere feud. That's why. And the thing is, Tony Khan has the ability to change all of this, but he doesn't want to because now his company has changed from a sports-based company to a televised indie program. I've seen people trying to compare AEW to ECW and CZW and what's another one? GCW. ECW is out of business. I don't know the status of CZW. GCW is an indie program with a very niche audience that is not televised on TV. GCW cannot get a TV deal because they're too violent. But that's their goal. They're cool. All three of those companies, as far as I know, that's their goal. They want to be that. AEW didn't come out the gate like that. AEW's mission statement, from what I understood, was sports based. We don't want to be so much on the entertainment. We want to be more on the pro wrestling. And that was a great, refreshing thing, you know. Remember, they used to count wins and losses, but then they decided that didn't work. So they pivoted. But AEW has been pivoting for years now, and they don't know what they want to be. AEW has been going through an identity crisis ever since, I'll say 2022, or whenever Cody left. Whenever Cody left, that was the first step. We're going downhill. They get CM Punk out of retirement. He does some of the best work. CM Punk came back to wrestle in this company, and they ruined that too. And now he's about to main event WrestleMania, the same thing that he had when he was in his MJF feud. He mocked it. He mocked MJF and said, you go over to WWE and you be a part of the 3-night extravaganza. And when you leave there, or when you get released, I'll be still here in AEW. You know how untrue that is? Now Punk is there. And MJF is still in AEW. You see how they mess up stuff? You know what I'm saying? And I guess I put some blame on Punk with that. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't an all AEW thing, but the point still stands. AEW doesn't know who they are. They're just confused. All they want to be is they want to be acknowledged. They want to be better than something that they never will be better than because they don't have the opportunity to. And once Tony Khan gets that through his head, AEW will be better off. But he's obsessed. He's obsessed with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the idea of what McMahon used to be. And now he's stuck. I don't want these superstars to get hurt. I don't want to see these superstars get hurt on live television just for the sake of being hurt. If you're going to hurt yourself, at least tell a story with it. At least if you're going to do something as stupid as drop yourself on rusty nails and possibly injure your spine, puncture a lung, bleed out on live. No one wants to see you die. I hope I don't get demonetized for saying that word, but no one wants to see you flatline on TV. No one wants to see that. And if you do want to see that, why? You know what I'm saying? And this goes with everybody. Darby jumping off onto just pure glass, just jumping on the glass. When he did that swamp, I think that was during the Sting retirement match. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Darby and Sting versus the Bucks. He just jumped right on the pane of glass. That could have went 18 different ways that aren't very good for Darby. But Tony Khan doesn't know how to tell his people no. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do next. I feel like they just keep doing extreme stuff until somebody gets hurt. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Tony Khan shouldn't want that. But yeah, man, I've been speaking for 15 minutes, man. It's frustrating because AEW is needed for WWE to stay on their toes. But they're going to end up destroying themselves. And when it happens, I know the AEW faithful are going to try to come fight us as if we did anything. No, don't blame us. When AEW goes under, if it ever does, don't blame us. Blame Tony Khan. Blame Tony Khan. Don't even blame yourself. I'm not even going to blame, because you didn't do it. All you wanted to see was an alternative. All you wanted to do is see a different wrestling star. So I'm not even going to say blame yourself. Blame the man who allowed his superstars to hurt themselves on live television for no reason. And the fact that he's so obsessed with whatever World Wrestling Entertainment is doing, he will follow them straight into AEW's own demise. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm just saying I feel like it's going to happen. If you don't like that, tell Tony Khan to fix it. If Tony Khan doesn't fix it, that's exactly what's going to happen. Y'all be safe, man. Y'all be good. Like and subscribe if you're new. Comment down below. Praise God, and I will see you in the next video, man.